Hey listeners, it's Mira. Earlier this year, we released an in-depth series about a year of reporting from inside a divided Brooklyn school building trying to unite through sports. The series is called Keeping Score. We collaborated with WNYC Studios on it, and we're really proud of how it turned out. It's an incredible story. If you missed it, just scroll down in our feed and you'll see Keeping Score. It has 4 parts. Today's episode is an update from 2 of the Miseducation reporters turned characters in the series, Mariah Morgan and Lauren Valme. Mariah and Lauren are members of the girls' varsity volleyball team. The Keeping Score series followed Mariah and Lauren, their teammates and coaches, over the course of the first season of the John Jay Jaguars.
Let's leave it all out there.
Prior to last season, there were actually 2 varsity girls volleyball teams in the same school building.
We had to play each other twice every year.
The girls went to different schools on different floors and were rivals.
It was sort of competing for, quote, who's the better team in the school.
One of the teams had mostly Black and Latin players, the other mostly white and Asian. But in 2021, they decided, after a decade of playing on opposite sides of the net, to join forces, to merge, to integrate. For those of you who've heard the story, we think you'll really enjoy this conversation between Lauren, Mariah, and Renika Jack, who, if you'll remember, also went to school in the John Jay campus and was a reporter on Keeping Score. The 3 of them dig into what happened in year 2 of this experiment at the intersection of race, class, and public schools. The volleyball season ended a few weeks ago. Did the Jaguars make progress toward integration and equity on the court? Did they reach their goal of a city championship? Here's Renika.
I'm so excited to be here today, reunited with 2 of the students who I worked on the Keeping Score series with, Mariah and Lauren. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm alright.
So, can you remind our listeners where you go to school and what's unique or interesting about the campus?
Well, the name of our school is Park Slope Collegiate, but we go to the John Jay campus.
Our campus is really unique in that it has 4 different schools in the same building. 3 being Title I working class schools, Black and brown schools, and the other one, Millennium Brooklyn, being a mainly white and Asian upper to middle class selective school.
Yeah. I'm really curious because I wasn't in the building in June when the Keeping Score series came out. So what was the reaction like at school, maybe family, friends?
When it came out, the first episode, I was in the airport and my phone was blowing up at the time before I got on the airplane of just people saying the episode's out, or another person saying, I got the link. So that was really nice. And then when I got back, and all the episodes had come out, and I was coming in for something during Regents Week. They had positive reactions, and I was kind of famous for those weeks. Random people were like, aren't you Lauren? I'm like, I don't know you.
Going back to the building after, at first I was kind of nervous about it just because it had came out, and I knew that it was important and I knew that teachers would listen to it because I think my principal shared it out in a meeting, but I didn't know to the extent that which people were really moved by the podcast and how much it struck them in general. I had students come up to me who heard it and who, expressed a lot of empathy and sympathy for the season, and also, a sense of, and we're so grateful that it was made because they felt so enlightened afterward. And so I think I have a lot of pride about it, and to know people were struck by it as much as I was, it meant a lot to me.
So the last time we heard your voices on the podcast, it was fall of 2021, and the volleyball season had just ended. And I know it was an up and down season for you guys. So how were you feeling back then?
I would say when it ended, I was sad because I had made friends with some of the girls. I was sad that, I wouldn't get to see them as much. But I was also kind of a sense of relief that it's kind of over, because at the beginning of the season, one of the things I said, I was feeling like a cheerleader, and how like the playing time wasn't split up, and how the girls with club experience was favorited.
After the season was done, I felt torn in a way, because I like to play and I enjoy playing. However, I think my experience was just so bad that there was a part of me that felt like a weight had been lifted off of me, just to make sure that my people on the team, the black and brown players, were okay. Always checking in, always trying really hard to make sure the merger worked as best as it could with what I had. I think weighed a lot on me and stressed me out a lot. I felt like it was kind of my fault that I'm just hyper aware of all these different things. I was just I was kind of done. I was done.
Thank you guys so much for sharing that. Lauren, so you said something at the end of the very last episode that really stuck with me. You said you hope that your efforts could make a ripple effect throughout the whole school. Have you seen positive changes in campus this year?
The most places I've seen it is the crowds that have come out to watch our volleyball games. I think I've seen people from every school that have come to our games, and they're all there because it kind of felt like the campus was more unified. They were just people cheering for the same reason. They're all there for the same reason, because they wanted the volleyball team and the Jaguars to succeed. Just hearing the gym erupt when we won, or when we're scoring a point, or even when we're down and they're trying to bring the energy back up, just everybody pouring their energy into the same thing. Like, it wasn't like that before. It was kind of just, I'm from this school, and because I don't really know them, I'm just going to cheer for this one person I know on this team. But it's different now.
And Mariah, what about you?
I mean, I'll speak for my school. I know that Miss Robinson, who was also featured on the podcast and is a 9th grade English teacher, has a whole unit surrounding the podcast and surrounding like our experiences as black and brown players. We were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, I think it's encouraged more kids to go, and not have that fear anymore, because they understand now, and they understand racism a lot better than before they listened to the podcast, and they feel like they can take the step, and now they talk about it going together, and like they try to organize each other to go to tryouts together and go do things together. For preseason and when we went to the tryouts, our coach brought up the podcast and encouraged students to listen to it, and I was able to lead a circle on meritocracy and like the myth of it, and that what is the concept of earning when we know that society is inequitable in the first place. They were very receptive to the ideas that I had, and I just think that, and I know some of them listened to the podcast or didn't listen to the whole thing, but listened to a piece. So I think even that one piece and them knowing what's going on has helped in just general, and they'll like carry that with them even like when I'm gone and when they leave high school. So I think it's impacted it positively.
So this was year 2 of the merger. Tell us how the season went.
I remember our first tournament. We lost that tournament, but I think that tournament, it showed that the coaches like wanted to do something different, because I think most people got playing time that day. That first tournament, I like fully realized that I'm gonna be like one of the starting middles, and I'm gonna have to take up like a responsibility on this team. I remember, I think it was the same tournament. We came home after, and we were just feeling defeated the year before. And then we came home from this tournament not feeling defeated about the same reason. Not feeling because we didn't get to play, but defeated because we lost.
I think the first tournament, the only one we lost, we didn't have our most integrated lineup yet, I don't think. Like, I don't think I really played in the position that I played, like, as later on in the season. So, integration wins. We had one libero named Kayla. black libero, which I don't see a lot of either, like very much anomalies. And I remember teaching her how to pass for the first time, and it was really special for me because when I have people who are new to the sport, who tend to be black and brown, who are new to the sport, and I get to kind of work with them and teach them, reminds me of me when I was younger, when I was first learning. We had more circles this year. I think we had 3. You know, it felt a little bit more safe to be open this year than it did last year. Everything that was needed to be said was said.
Awesome. So I think both of you guys actually mentioned a little bit on playing time. So I guess that there was a difference in playing time?
Yeah, I think it was spread out a lot better. There was a lot more subs in playing time. For the most part, I think they swapped out people when they needed to, and it was more well-rounded than it was last year.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I understand that you guys made it back to city championship. So take us through that whole day.
I have Salik first period, our coach as our teacher first period. So he was ready. He was excited, telling everybody in our class that the game's at Queens College. That's 7. We were all wearing Jaguar gear that day. And so everybody that knew that the game was that day, we were like, you guys got this. Lauren, you have to get so many blocks today. We got on the bus. There were some kids still waiting outside, hyping us up before we left. And then we got there. And then we saw Midwood there. They were like, it's just Midwood. And I think we were ready for that game. I don't think we were, like, cocky, but I think we were going into that game in a pretty good, like, we're here to compete mindset, which I think that's what got us through our whole season.
The night before, I didn't really feel anxious. I had a lot of confidence in my team, and not even because we had beat Midwood previously, but just because I think for the most part we play for each other and we play till the whistle, and nothing hits the floor unless you hit the floor. The national anthem came on, and all of us knelt, all of our team knelt. And I don't think people were kneeling because I was kneeling, maybe because I'm a captain or like someone else was kneeling. Like I think we all as a collective understood why we were kneeling. I think that was the most powerful thing, and that was the most thing that stuck out to me the whole season. I think once the game started, we all tried to play as a team, and even when we messed up, like we looked at each other in each other's eyes, and we were like, you know, we're in it. We're gonna do this to be in it, and we were like, no third set. And so even when Midwood got ahead a little bit in a run, we just cleaned up our mistakes, and we were not going to a third set. So I think for the most part, we played for everything, and we really sharpened our skills to win.
Awesome. So how did you feel when you won?
I felt relieved. I'm really excited to do something different. I guess a part of me was sad because I've been playing since I was in 6th grade. Friendships that I've made, like Lauren and Rebecca, are like some of my favorite people, and to not be able to set them anymore makes me kind of sad. But I think I was really happy. I put in a lot of work during the season, and I think all my work paid off in that. I feel like I played really well, and I wasn't disappointed at all. I think I left it all out there.
After we won, it was kind of surreal. I knew that we won. I was happy. I was running. I was like, yay. I'm like, did we actually just like win? And honestly, not until we got on the bus did I feel like moments of sadness. I was happy that kind of like the struggle I had gone through from the year prior, it was kind of like over, and that we've kind of like achieved something with a more integrated team, and it kind of proves us right. When I find, because my phone was somewhere buried in the bottom of my bag, because I just threw everything in it and I got straight to the court once they let us on it, and I opened my phone, and the amount of text messages that I got on regular messages and then Instagram of just the support of not only my friends, but just people that I know that I follow on Instagram that don't like go to my school, of them saying congrats because they watched on Facebook. And I'm like, I didn't even know that you watch it on Facebook, but this is nice. And then I go and talk to my other friends, and their friends are watching it, and they're like showing me recognition. It made me feel so good, and it actually felt like a community that not only the people in my school are looking out for me, but the other kids in other schools are too.
For us to win with an integrated lineup like that, to me was just it felt so good, and a more well-rounded team in general, because the coaching was more equitable and gave more players a chance to be and to make mistakes and to learn what role they want to play. I think is the reason why we won. We were, like, it was very intentional from day one, and I think that the more connected the team is, the more focus and drive there is to really try and win and to try and work together. And so I think the podcast and, like, you know, the meetings and the forums and everything just came to a head right there. And it was like, listen, I was trying to tell you guys all along, you did not listen to me. You didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to Lauren. You didn't listen to anybody. And then when things happened after a lot of fight for it, it worked out.
Yeah. Part of what you guys are talking about kind of made me remember when I did my graduation speech, and part of it was just like, this may be the end of high school, but it's the commencement of something greater in your life. And I really hope you guys remember that, because you guys are awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are awesome. And I know leaving or closing out this chapter can be really hard on you sometimes, and you're just like, wow, I'm like, high school, I'm finished. It seems like forever, you know, but you're done. So looking back, would you guys change anything?
I think if I could go back right before the first year of the merger, I think I would have fought harder for things to be set in place. I think if I understood what would happen before, that I would have probably had a set plan, and I mean, like, written up plan, like telling the principal, this is what we need to do, this is what, or else this will happen. Like, I think if I understood that more than I do today, I think that I would have done it differently. I learned so much about what leadership means, and that integration isn't inherently anti-racist, and that you can black and brown and Asian and white players on a team together. It doesn't mean that they'll interact with each other. I learned so much about about the world.
Yeah. Going back, I would say a plan, because it was just messy. It was just messy, and it caused just like trauma that it's just gonna stick in the back of our heads for like forever, and we're just gonna think back to it and be like, wow, that actually happened to us. But at the same time, I definitely learned from it. I learned, one, how strong I am to go through that and make it through a whole 3 months of just like kind of like headache and like kind of, you know, just being down. I also learned that I'm not alone, because just me, myself as a person, I'm kind of just to myself, and I'm kind of like, only I can deal with this. But I learned that even though I may be thinking this in my head, but other people probably are too, and that if I'm probably experiencing this, that somebody else is, and that if I share it, then they'll be able to help me and I'll help them, and the process will probably go much easier.
So quickly before we close off, like a really, really quick encouragement to the girls who are going to be playing volleyball when you guys leave. One thing that you would like to leave with them.
I think I want to say, don't give up whatsoever, because no matter how like bad you think you're messing up or bad you think you're not doing that, and that to like, if you make that mistake, don't keep that in your head. Make that mistake, know that you're going to make a mistake, because you're not perfect, and that just to keep going.
I think what I would have to leave for them, and I think I want to specify my message to just black and brown players. I think that I would say to discomfort is normal, and that it's not, like, especially when you start playing, because it is a predominantly white sport, that it's okay. It's okay that you don't feel super represented or really comfortable. I mean, it's not okay, unfortunately, but that's how the world works. I mean, your feelings are okay and it's valid. And if you feel isolated, it's also normal, especially if you're not a black person who's who has been around white people to be able to navigate that sort of space, because it's different, especially if you go to a mainly black and brown school and then you join a mainly white team. Like, it's like culturally it's very different. And so I think I would say, if you feel if you feel any inequity, or you feel like there's something that's happening that's just not right, speak up. I think organize yourself, rally your community, tell your teachers. I think that high school sports are to give kids an opportunity to do something, to be part of something bigger. And I think also share your feelings, because they're important. I think that's what I would say.
Okay, so thank you so much, Lauren, and thank you so much, Mariah.
Thank you. You were the best interviewer.
It was awesome having you guys here. Good to see you guys again.
Miseducation is a production of The Bell. You can learn more about us at bellvoices.org. Follow us on social media at MiseducationPod. Our work is made possible in part by the Summerfield Foundation, the Pinkerton Foundation, and FJC. Today's interview was conducted by Renika Jack, and the episode was produced by me, Mira Gordon, and Taylor McGraw. Music from Blue Dot Sessions and Lens Lewis. PS Weekly will be off during winter break and will be back in early January. Thank you so much for tuning in this year. We wish you all a restful holiday season, and we'll catch you in 2023.